Welcome to the debauchery. We have such sights to show you.
Here's Johnny!
All you have left is my desire for you.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Welcome to Fright Flick FMK. I'm Jay.
And I'm John.
And as always, we watch the horror movies and we let you know if you'd rather fuck it, marry it, or kill it. And hey, we are here tonight with the OG. My little bro, the youngest of the brothers, John. Hey, man, I am super fucking pumped to have you back on here, man.
Yeah, no, dude, it's been a minute. So dude, it's been several months. For a quick update for everybody, we are completely moved. We're in Myrtle Beach. We're happy. We're settled. Everything took longer to get settled in than what I anticipated because we bought an older house that has an awesome like in-ground pool and shit like that. That's why we bought it. But so yeah, dude, we had to do some configuring to get me a place where I was good to like finally fucking record, and it was straight up. But yeah, all good now. And yeah, it took a while.
Hey, and if you're new to the show, if you're one of the more recent Fright Flick families, you know, me and John, this was John's baby, his idea months and months ago, over a year ago. You know, you reached out to me about starting to do this.
Yeah.
And when you and Chris stepped away from Spread the Dread, you asked me if I'd keep it going.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's been a year because I just released this week's going to be like episode 53. So it's like a year.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, this was originally John's idea, you know.
Yeah. Because me and Joe did a couple of them just randomly when we were doing Spread the Dread. And then I finally was like, oh man, I really want to like make that its own like thing. And then that's when like me and you became like the main ones to doing it. And then when we stepped away to handle the move and everything like that, take a break, which is a permanent break, by the way. Like everybody, it's not coming back if there's anybody still asking that.
Not coming back as a true crime podcast, people.
No. And I will say that we like the name could very well be used in something, and that'll be way down the line, but we'll see. But yeah, and then dude, it's crazy that you've been doing this like as the primary host for a year though. Shit.
Yeah, because it is right at a year because episode 53 goes up this week, and there's been a couple episodes where I had like, you know, the special guest with Bill Oberst.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be like episode 53 of doing it for basically a year now. Yep.
Damn, dude.
I was surprised, you know, that because I remember
you've now done this show longer than me. Yeah. Like you've definitely done more episodes than what we did even before it became mine and your thing, and then our episodes there. So yeah, man. But no, I'm so happy to be finally recording again.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's been, you know, and me and Jess have talked about, like, she knew like going into it, like tonight I was like, hey, me and John are finally recording, you know, finally gonna get back on there again. And she even told me, but like, you know, we FaceTime earlier just so we get all that, you know, husband wife shit out of the way now.
Yeah.
Told her, I was like, she's like, well, you could just hit me up afterwards. And I was like, babe, there's no telling how long me and John may go.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since we got on here, you know, like just shoot the shit. You know,
yeah, we've been chatting prior for like 50 minutes. So
it's been almost an hour before I record. So, but super excited to have you back. And we got something special going on around here, people. We got something special lined up.
Yes.
We got us a plan. We're gonna do us a trilogy. A trilogy. John, what talk to us a little bit about this trilogy we got planned.
So this one, we're testing out what's going to be something new for the format on this. If Jay still releases single movie here and there episodes, you guys may get more than one episode a week. but this is going to be something that me and him are doing, still part of Fright Flick, where we're going to finally put the legitimate use and take Fright Flick Fuck Mary Kill as a reference for how you would rate the movies, and we're actually going to fuck a movie, marry a movie, kill a movie. So, as the title would already suggest, now you got to get yours too, because we both are rocking. We're both rocking it.
Right there.
Oh man, I hope there's nothing. Okay, I don't think anything's showing that we would have to censor. These are the August, the August Underground trilogy. Everybody who does anything with fucked up movies knows about this. So what we're gonna do, and if you guys like it, make sure to talk about it in the comments below and let us know, because we have a ton of other trilogies we could do this with if y'all like this. So we're gonna do an individual episode for each movie, and then we're going to do a fourth episode that's going to wrap up our opinions about all three of them. The fourth episode, Jay, you would probably agree, probably going to be a little bit shorter than the other ones because we've already reviewed them.
Yeah.
So, but we'll shoot the shit about all three, and we will ultimately decide out of August Underground Mortem, and August Underground Penance, which one we would fuck, which one we would marry, and which one we would kill. Yep. And it's been a minute since I've watched all of these, and I recently watched the first one because Unearthed put out all three on Blu-ray. If you guys like collecting physical media, definitely support Unearthed always, but go get these, because once the run's done, it's probably going to be done, and who knows when it'll get released again. So I did rewatch the first one when it came in, but when I have not checked out Mortem and Penance. When's the last time you've seen all three of these? When's the last time you watched them all?
It has been, I've never seen the last one.
Penance. Okay.
I watched Mortem, and it's been a long time since I watched Mortem. So like even with this one, the original, August Underground, I rewatched it recently for the show, but until I rewatched it yesterday, it's been probably well over a year. Because this one of the ones when I started asking you some horror movies, you recommended it and I checked it out. So it's been well over a year since I had seen the original, Fred Vogel, We're Not Worthy, August Underground.
Yeah, and I know it has been, because I got into like the messed up horror movies a while, but it running for about a decade or more. And so I saw these a while ago, back when I probably had to torrent them. Like there wasn't even websites with them. There wasn't physical versions you could get a fucking hold of. And I have not rewatched them since. I'm not looking forward to rewatching Mortem or Penance.
I don't even remember them. It's been like even for
the my god, how could you forget those? Holy fuck!
Because
you have such a more iron stomach.
I do. I love the more hard. I fucking love it.
Mortem in particular. But I Penance, I remember being rough too. But yeah, so we're gonna review each of the movies and then actually have a wrap up episode where we actually pick which one we're gonna fuck, marry, or kill. So yeah, that's what we're starting up with. And trust me, we have at least an episode a week of this for the next year. Of worth of trilogies, and that was just off the top of my head today. So if you guys like it, make sure to thumbs up the episode, subscribe, and make sure that you are dropping in the comments that you want to see more of these.
Yeah, and that's the thing, people. I don't know if y'all just don't fucking listen to me. I tell y'all all the time to drop in the comments, and recommend shit, because I've never really had a plan. This whole year, I've been flying pretty much solo. And I've had guests and shit like that, but it's just a week-to-week thing for me. But now we're giving you a what's coming ahead. Like now, this is, over the next 3 weeks, we're talking about August Underground, Fred Vogel, We're Not Worthy movies for the next 3 fucking weeks. Yeah. And then we're going to get to the end of this bad boy, and then we're going to do a legit fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah.
So, get in the
and for anyone curious of the other trilogies, we're talking about the Vomit Gore trilogy from Lucifer Valentine. We would like to cover the erotic grotesque nonsense trilogy by a good friend. I interviewed him back with Spread the Dread, Jonathan Doe. His movies, oh man, the Men Behind the Sun trilogy, which most people don't even know. There's 3 movies that are in that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it until a little while ago. I mean, within the past few months, I learned that. We got the Hostel trilogy, y'all. We so many other things that we could handle.
The Human Centipede, damn it.
Yes, Human Centipede, which I have never watched part 3.
Oh,
never watched part 3, but so yeah, make sure to let us know, and then I'll let you get to your housekeeping stuff, and then we'll roll in here so that people don't have to look at me for any longer than they would they need to.
Hey man, hey, the housekeeping goes quick here. I don't waste a lot of time on it. You know, it's go check us out, Fright Flick FMK podcast. We're on all the social media sites. We're on Facebook, we're on X, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok. If you go to the frightflickfmk.com store website, there's a little store there. Get you a little bit of the Fright Flick family shit. You can support us. We do have a Patreon, people. It's literally, it's baseline. It's $5 a month. I don't have different tiers or none of that shit. We're not that fucking popular here. $5 gets you in the door. Discord. On the Patreon, I do release at least 2 a month of Patreon only episodes. Like, these episodes will not get uploaded to the regular streaming area. Like last week's, I did the Corpse Savannah Fritz. I already have the next one lined up. These episodes will not be put out to the public. It will be strictly for Patreon only. You know, I got to make it worth their while. $5.
Right.
Man. I got to keep the Fright Flick family happy.
Yeah, no, everybody needs to go check that out if you want to. So if you guys like it and can afford to support it, but yeah, those 2 exclusive episodes. You sometimes upload episodes that go to YouTube. You upload them early on Patreon sometimes too, right?
All the Patreon episodes go up on. I try to get it to where it's like every Wednesday because the normal episodes hit on Friday. Patreon members get it like 2 days earlier. So I try.
So there you go.
So you get early access. You get the Discord. You get the bonus episodes, you know, and even in the people in the Discord, that's where a lot of the movies I've talked about where people in the Discord recommend, like, have you seen this movie? Would you want to do this movie? You know, and that's how I've gotten ideas because you've all been around here for the last while. People, I don't have a plan. First time there's been any kind of plan put out to you people. But yeah, so that's it for the housekeeping. Go, and like I said, like John said earlier, go give us a like, subscribe, follow.
Yes.
You know, I got thick skin, people. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings.
Yeah, even if you just drop like an emoji or something, the comments, the activity and stuff like that really helps to push this show out to other people. So definitely do that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Go ahead.
Even if you give me the little poop emoji, the little pop ice cream shit, you know, at least I know you fucking listened. You stopped by.
Yeah. Leave an insult. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
Tell him his head's too smooth. Tell me, tell me that I have a new metal goatee. I don't know. Do whatever you need to do. Just leave a fucking comment.
Yeah. Something.
All right, man. You ready to jump into this one?
Yeah, man. We're going to talk about, once again, 2001, the original August Underground. This is an American horror film directed by the Fred Vogel.
Yes, sir.
It was written by Fred Vogel and also Alan Peters, which was a funny thing I found out after I've watched the Blu-ray. If you get Blu-ray, people,
so much bonus features on there.
Shit, dude.
Tons.
Dude, I finished watching the movie and I'm like, I need to go to bed. And then I like bonus features.
Yeah, what's in there?
Bonus features. And I'm like, so much shit in the bonus features.
Yes.
You know, that they put in these new Blu-rays from Unearthed Films.
Yep.
Like, fucking round of applause.
Yeah.
You know, super, I mean, a whole lot of info that I would have never known.
No, like almost like 3/4 of the stuff. Well, at least half of the entire back of the sleeve is literally a list of features because there's a Blu-ray and a DVD. It's got both, but it's just I mean, just tons. That's all the features that they're listing. Hold on, let me make sure there's nothing. Yeah, that's the features. That's the extra stuff. And yeah, I was like you, dude. I still haven't watched all the stuff on
I
there.
haven't either.
Yeah. And then they did the same thing for Mortem and Penance. So there's just as much extra shit on those. So I'm really looking forward to like having to rewatch these. And then, spending an entire day afterwards going through all the special features.
Yep. And the coolest thing about it because I just rewatched this last night. I popped Blu-ray and I got done with it and I watched some extra features. And one of the coolest things about it was when you click on the extra feature option, you literally get Fred Vogel in the same voice of the crazy dude in this movie yelling at you to like play the special features.
Yeah.
Feature. What do you want to watch? And it was like so fucking cool, man. And he put it, you know, there's interviews he does on it where he talks about like a lot of stuff that you never would have known. I never would have known if it weren't for this damn fucking Blu-ray that just opened my eyes.
Yeah.
Now, this film is going to star Fred Vogel as the main fucking character.
Yep. He's pretty much the one you see on screen almost the entire time.
Fucking time, pretty much. And basically, the dude's a fucking serial killer who kidnaps and tortures people.
Yeah.
He has him a good friend who's got the video camera. It's like a found footage type thing, like straight video recorder, and he's videotaping all this shit.
Right. And it's done very well, which is another reason these movies, I mean, apart from just the extreme nature of it, I'm a big found footage guy. I love found footage stuff. And because I end up watching a lot of shit, like legit straight kills, because I hate when it's found footage and then suddenly you'll see a camera angle that there's no way in hell they had to have set up a camera, and it suspends the disbelief of all of it. So when it's done really well, I love that shit. And it's done super well here. And it looks very authentic. It's not that like, because again, this came out in 2001.
Yeah.
So you'll see a lot of them now. And I'm sure you've seen a lot where they do the digital After Effects on it to make it look aged and scratched up and shit like that. No, this shit was like clearly filmed on like a shitty VHS camcorder and shit like that, or a Sony Handycam or something.
Yeah. And that's what's crazy. And it being 2001, you know, and God, over fucking 20 years ago, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I said, this was his directorial debut for Fred when he did August Underground. And I remember I looked up a couple things on it, kind of like where the idea for him came from. And I remember reading something. I don't know if it's legit. People, I get a lot of shit off of fucking the interweb, just like y'all do. And it basically said he felt like, you know, he had a frustration with the serial killer genre. And he felt like it didn't show you what was really going on. And I read where he said he took some inspirations from the movie. I've seen it and I love it. Henry, Portrait of a good.
Michael Rooker is fantastic in that movie. So good.
Good. And he basically wanted to make a film. And I remember in reading it, it basically said he wanted to be both ugly and realistic, while also being unique. And home run, Fred fucking Vogel.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. That if anyone's never seen it and they watch it now, you won't. You have to keep in mind 2001, because obviously this is one of the cheapest ways to make a movie is found footage style. You know, shit. Our phones now, the cameras on these things are insane.
Fucking
there's shit that gets there's shit that goes in theaters that are shot on iPhones.
Yep.
You know, so you have to remember, like, when this came out, now there's a dime a dozen, and August Underground is probably would you say one of the most imitated movies in like underground and extreme, where they kind of are going to try to be the next August Underground. These movies, particularly part one, and I'll preface this too. There's not a shitload of plot here, people. So we are going to discuss other stuff because we could literally break down the entire plot in like 3 minutes. Like it's just him killing people, and we'll get into it more. But yeah. So like there's so many people who try to imitate it now. You have to keep in mind in 2001 when this came out how original this was, and groundbreaking. Something like this was, but yeah, I've heard that too. I mean, and dude, like you said, he succeeded. This thing, it's an ugly movie inside and out. Like it doesn't look pretty.
No,
it's so fucked up.
And there's a list of movies that you can think of that you've heard people talk about that are just these like fucked up movies. And August Underground falls right in there with Hannibal Holocaust, the Serbian films, and movies like that. It falls in that category. Like you can say that name. Like today, I was talking to somebody at work about what I was recording this week, and as soon as I said the name, they were like, "Oh, I've heard that name before." They'd never seen the movie, but they recognized the name of the August Underground, and so it's one of those. It's crazy because I was reading, some of the history, like even behind it. Where he read a part about back in like 2005, where he got like held up at customs in fucking Canada.
Yes, yeah, he was banned from Canada for a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, because they thought he had to prove the shit wasn't real.
Yeah, they thought it was legit, like a real torture type video.
Yeah,
recorded. And I remember reading one part where it's like he was in customs for like 10 hours by the Ottawa Canadians. Cipher through the fucking shit to be like, okay, it's fake, and I could understand.
Prove it, buddy.
I believe it because Canada is such a fucking nice country, They're
like, who would want to do this but a series? You mean you did this for fun?
Yeah, like
he's like, yeah, and they're like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, this can't be right. We're going to have to hold you over here in customs for a while till our nice Canadians folk can dissect this thing you trying to bring across the fucking border,
Well, and I think in one of them too, they were saying that like he really did a lot of guerrilla marketing with it because he had no fucking money. And so like one of the things he did is he was ripping it to VHS tapes and just like leaving them unmarked on like park benches. Yeah. So I could not for the life of me fucking imagine being one of the people who got that.
Yeah, like it was crazy because I think it may have been on the Blu-ray where I listened to him and he said that was their plan. But it was also during that time of the fucking 2001 was not the greatest time.
No. This is August Underground. The month after August is September. We're talking September 2001.
Yeah. So this is not the greatest time in America. And so, you're just leaving random shit laying around, and want people to pick it up and watch it during the, anthrax and everything else fucking going on. So it kind of put a little damper on that, for the plan of it. But how cool would it have been, though? How I would have loved. Could you imagine?
In 2001, I wouldn't have loved it. I would have been scared out of my fucking mind. I was in 10th grade, and I had never seen anything like this before. Like, you got to remember with the state of the internet even back then.
Oh, yeah.
Rotten.com was like the only way to get anything. Like, and then it was just pictures. It was like Tupac autopsy photos, and that's it. It's not like now where like you could scroll on the wrong fucking TikTok and find like a Colombian cartel beheading video.
Oh, yeah. Like just a dime a dozen, because
and that's another thing to keep in mind too, because again, you got to think, like you said, this movie's over 2 decades. This movie can legally drink.
Yes,
it can have a gentleman and Jack with if Jay's ever at a bar and August Underground walks up, he can buy it a drink legally.
Yes, he can.
So yeah, I mean, you're talking to people who listen to this who grew up completely post 9/11, or they're in their late teens and they've always had this kind of shit on the internet, so it may not seem as extreme to them. But I couldn't. I know I watched this for the first time roughly a decade ago. It was somewhere between like 2010 to probably like 2010 to 2012. I mean, that was still it was almost a decade old then. I couldn't fucking imagine seeing this shit in 2001. Like, even if I was a big horror fan because I mean, again, if you put this in reference to its time, there's nothing fucking like it.
No, it's
at
not.
all.
No.
Like this was a completely new, just berserk idea. And now, like I said, especially an extreme horror movie, August Underground could almost be its own category of underground movie of just people trying to rip it off.
Yep. And it is just it. And I was thinking about when I was hearing about that, like just placing these VHSs and if I could be a Marty McFly in a fucking time machine, I would love to just have my hands on one of those just random VHSs of this movie, just sitting there. How fucking cool would it be? Because like you said, you've seen it like over 10 years ago. Like for me, I'm kind of late to the horror game. I've always kind of watched horror here and there, but you are the one that got me turned on to like because I wanted something a little more than fucking Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger type shit.
Yep.
So you gave me a couple titles to check out, and I started, dabbing my toe into the shallow end. But then I realized that there's a part of me that was like, okay, I need a little more. I need you. And you started pushing out these names of these movies, and man, more I started digging, the more I was just like, oh, just bring it on. This fucking movie. And so we have built up this. Now we're going to talk about
it. Yeah, let's get back to talking about it now.
Fred Vogel, if you happen to stumble across this at some point or time, we're not worthy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, two big fans.
Two big fans. So, God, man. And one thing I liked about it is I did like the fact the found footage part of this thing. Right out the gate, when it kicks off, it's just some random guy pouring some beer out on the ground, just like, just two dudes hanging out.
Yeah, you get a feeling that there's more of these tapes, and this isn't the very first one. Like, and you clearly see throughout, there's a whole backstory here that's they never go into it, but yeah, the way they open it is like, you could tell like they were in the middle of something and ran out of tape, got a new tape, and started running it again. I like that, and it does not take long to kick in and get going.
No, because with the tapes, if somebody were to watch this, realistically, this does not have to go in order.
No.
Like, this could be what you see in the beginning, and then what you see at the end. What you see at the end could have been some shit that happened fucking months ago. You don't. And I like that about it. I like the fact that it wasn't like in a timed order. It was just, it's like some couple guys hanging out, and they're just like, dude's got a video camera having a good time out in the damn, he's pouring his beer out, and then, the dude comes up and he's like, hey man, you like wasting good beer. And it's so casual. He's like, come on to the basement. Let me show you what. And then we go down into the fucking basement.
Yes, let's tell the fuckheads what's in the basement, Jay.
What's in the fucking basement is
what's in the basement?
What's in the basement? We got us up. He goes downstairs, and take it, people. This is, like I told you earlier, he wanted to give a view of a more realistic, like a serial killer. Somebody who goes out and they grab these girls or they grab these men and they torture them and do what they want to with them. You always see movies to where, okay, serial killer kills this person. Okay. Oh, they killed him.
Right.
Fred wanted to be like, we're going to show you some like real up close shit. And so when you get down the basement, we're going to come across a nice young lady.
It says here her name is Laura.
Hey, if that's her name, whoever played Laura, in this movie, just you fucking rock.
Yeah, and not to spoil anything, but
here, man.
Well, not for the next episodes, but so the first August Underground, has the littlest amount of plot. Laura is really, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Laura like the only one that he's really seen continuously torturing? Yeah,
it's just her, because the rest of them are like kind of like,
pretty quick kills.
Yeah. Like he had
so you see a guy who doesn't really, he doesn't have an MO, a modus operandi like a lot of other serial killers, where they kind of have a pattern emerges. They want a certain type of victim, they kill him a certain way and stuff like that. No, he's having fun with Laura, who's chained to his basement wall, shitty basement, gross house. It looks like his character, something his character, like he's staying with his grandmother, waiting for her to die.
Yeah,
and like that's the house, and
he
he's gonna
doesn't
inherit
allow
it.
her. He doesn't allow her in the basement.
No,
like,
no.
grandma, no.
Yeah, it's nasty, and yeah, Laura is chained to this shitty basement wall, and huh?
She's in a chair.
Was she chained to the chair?
Yeah, they had her like duct taped down to a chair, pretty much.
That's right, because of the shit. And now I remember the way all of the built up shit looked, because it was on a chair, and he didn't bother to cut a fucking hole in the chair.
No, don't cut a hole in the chair. He didn't cut a hole in the chair. Shit's just coming out.
Yeah, it's overflowing.
It's overflowing, man.
And I'm just like, oh my God. And so it's a nice fine paste, because it's got mashed between her ass cheeks and this wooden chair as
Just
it's
imagine.
sluiced to the outside. Ugh.
Just imagine trying to take a shit sitting on your ass flat, like straight on a chair.
And a hard wood chair.
Yeah,
It's like the shit you see. It looks like someone's old ass, like his grandmother's old ass dining room chair that he borrowed. He'll bring it back.
Imagine sitting your ass down on a chair and having to take a good old fashioned dookie, and you got to push that out while sitting flat ass on a chair. That's what old girl Laura had to do.
Yes.
Because they got her down there, and she's like, hey, and when it goes into the basement, one thing that I will give them props on, it was instantly, God, I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like you could imagine the smell and in your mouth. You know, when you can smell things, that you can taste it. It's like when you see this basement, you're just like, holy fuck, how nasty. And when I say nasty, people, this old girl is fucked up.
Yeah.
Fucked up. He comes down there with his buddy. His buddy's got the fucking camera. He's showing him, her, and she's butt naked, people. Like,
completely
nude, sitting in this chair, blood all over her, shit all over her,
vomit. You could tell like the like yellowing stain of vomit and stuff. You could smell her. And then again, like I said, you see the basement multiple times throughout the movie, and it's just it's shitty. They don't throw away, like there's just trash.
Yeah,
like and shit like that.
He don't clean up after himself.
No.
He takes people down there and does what he wants to, and cleans nothing up. It's crazy. Just I love a movie that can put you in a part of it where you feel fucking dirty.
Yeah, you almost itch looking at it. Like you're like, God, there's probably fleas somewhere. There's definitely there's bed bugs and something down here too. Yeah,
if you could, you watch this movie and you wish you could peel your skin off and take a fucking shower.
Yeah.
Because that basement is so fucking nasty. And and then the cool part is the found footage. Is the fact that it's this little cheap ass, back in 2001, man, you get them bad boys, just a little handheld. Fancy. There's no fucking 4K here, people.
No.
Just shaky, up close and personal. And you see this girl, and you can tell that she's been down there a minute.
Yeah.
He's held on to her.
Yeah.
Like he liked her a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And again, it's one of those things where just like how the movie starts, just immediately starts, and that there was shit happening before. Again, and as Jay pointed out, which is a good way to look at it, is that again, there's no real story to the very first August Underground. That does change come Mortem and Penance. But again, he probably didn't even know he was going to make a trilogy when he first did this one. I don't know. I got to finish watching all those extra features on the Blu-ray to find out.
I do know that part because I've
What's that?
I do know that part because of the extra features I watched.
So what did he say? Did he anticipate a trilogy?
He had no intentions of going past August Underground.
Right.
Until the following, the people who just was into it were like,
right.
and like, we want more.
Yeah.
We dig this. People like me, we like it. And we
Yeah.
want some more. And that's what made him go forward with it, because he said he had no intentions of going past just the August Underground.
Yeah. And like I said, another thing on him, a backstory of him, he used to work at the Tom Savini effects school. Tom Savini, hugely known in horror, particularly for the Friday the 13th stuff he's done. He's also the guy with the gun dick in From Dusk Till Dawn. Guy at the bar. Yeah, that's Tom Savini acting. He's been in a lot of other stuff too.
We watched that about a week ago.
That's a great one. That's a great one. I know I've at least rewatched it within the past 6 months, and it was just as good. It had been years before then. But so Fred was working there, and that was another thing of wanting to do the movies this way so that he could highlight his special effects. His company Toe Tag Productions, that this was released under and everything like that, they also did special effects work. That was more or less what he was more known for. So that was another thing. And again, doesn't disappoint on that. Fred is he's still held in very high regard, particularly people who know about underground and extreme cinema, for his effects, all practical, fantastic. And I mean, skin crawling shit. And again, just the shit and the puke and all that other stuff, it looks too real. I don't like it. I don't like it.
It is so fucking real. Like when the dude's with the camera and he's zooming in, because like I said, fully naked, and he gets a close up of her and you see her, tits are out. We got one good titty. We got one titty with the fucking, where he has like entertained himself by cutting the nipple off.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's almost hard to put into words, because you have to see it. You have and you see the little pan on the floor that's got like just shit in it.
Yeah.
Where it's just everything around her is nasty.
Yeah.
And he's got dude down there with the camera, and it's not just her. He takes him into the bathroom and he's got a dude in the bathtub.
That's right.
Chopped his dick off.
Yes.
He tells him he's like, oh, you cut his dick off. Like the cameraman is entertained.
Yeah, and you only, if I'm not mistaken, it's only the character Peter that's played by Fred.
Yep.
It's only him that does killing. The cameraman is just watching, but fully in on it and cool with all of it. And that's like you had mentioned about like the zoom in and stuff. That's another thing you'll notice in all three of these as well. And another thing that highlights how good the practical effects are, because there's a lot of close-ups in all three movies of some pretty fucked up shit. And that showed a lot of confidence. It's like, no, look, motherfuckers, look, it looks real. It looks real all the way through. Like that shit, you're gonna look at it, and yeah, dude. Like even I've never seen anyone with a sliced off nipple, but like it looked real to me. It wasn't over exaggerated. It wasn't like spraying blood and shit like that, which I actually find that more disturbing. When it's like it wasn't just over exaggerated gore, it makes it feel more real, and it's just like, fuck, like, because then I'm like, I don't want mine to look like that. Like, I don't want to fucking box cutter my titties.
I don't know what my nipple would look like if I chopped it off, but for some reason I think Fred nailed it. I think
I don't know. Like I don't know where he got his reference point from, but I'd buy it. So yeah, like the Peter and the cameraman, they continue. It shows them going out and about and stuff like that. They end up picking up a hitchhiker that that Peter convinces to give him some head, and they pull over for her to give him a good old blowy, and that's
only after he paid her $20 to show her titties.
That's right.
Yeah, he paid her $20. He like, $20. I want to see your tits. So it
Yeah.
takes a minute. She pulls her shirt up, shows her titties, and then he's like, for another $20, I want to see your crotch.
Yeah.
And then he basically has her, the fact that he gets her to pay $20, she's going to pull her pants down, does a little fingering. And now all of a sudden, Peter is a little turned on right now. Peter wants his dick sucked.
Yeah.
So Peter's like, pull over. We got to take this shit outside the car.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess probably had a plan because he got his money back. By the way, because he beat her to death after the fact, and so I guess financially he came out on top.
He saved his money. He got a free show. He got free titties, free crotch, got his dick sucked.
And keep in mind, she was just a hitchhiker. It wasn't a prostitute.
Yeah. No,
but like the moment she got in the car, Peter started just talking to her like a whore.
Yeah. He wasted no time. Like,
Yeah.
he spins the camera around like, oh, let me see your titties.
Yeah.
$20.
Like she had to know. She was like, holy fuck. Like, did they think I was a prostitute and pick me up? Or like clearly they only picked her up to try to get this to happen.
But it did not help her case none that this bitch jumped on $20 real quick to show some.
She did.
And some
she did.
Like wasted no time. Like $20. Like she kind of like she didn't want to, but she was like, I need that $20, Dan.
Yes. But yeah, so that happens, and they then it shows them going out and about. They go to like a concert. They are being too rough in the mosh pit and get booted.
That's so like reminded me of you. That whole portion reminded me of you. The whole
I'm friendly. I'm friendly in the pit though.
Yeah, but see this whole when I'm seeing Peter out there in the mosh and doing his thing, for some reason I kept seeing your face on his body. I'm like, I don't know
if that might be the most. That's either like the worst compliment ever or the best insult ever.
I don't know how you categorize it. But I was like, because it was, I could say, you were more into that scene.
Oh, yeah.
I was way too old for that shit. And so, yeah, when I seen that shit, I was like, man, this is like some shit Jonathan would get down on like that.
Yeah. And when they started booting him, I remember when we watched the Blu-ray, Joe watched it with me again. And I was like, you got to have respect in the pit, Joe. I was like, I don't give a shit. And she was like, shut the fuck up, John. Like, because I was just like, they were not following pit etiquette and they paid the price. And there's a whole big brouhaha in the parking lot between them and the guys that they were kind of going at.
That shit was funny to me though in the parking lot though.
Yes,
they're in the parking lot and the bouncer is separated. We got Peter and his camera guy. Then we got the dudes over here across the parking lot, and they're just
outnumber them. By the way,
huh?
They're outnumbered, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like
it's almost
like 7.
Yeah, I was going to say it's literally like 2 or 3 to 1.
Yeah. And the whole time they're yelling, they come out of the parking lot and there's nothing in, but nobody's holding nobody back. There's nothing space and opportunity, people. And they're like yelling like, man, fuck you, pussy, fuck you. Nobody makes a move.
No, the bouncer roughs all of them up more than they do anything to each other.
Yeah. Like all this yelling across the parking lot and nobody makes a move,
Yeah. So after all that happens, they end up going back to Peter's place. And then that's when they see that Laura mercifully has finally passed on from her wounds.
Oh, man. But, before, one of the parts that stuck out to me before earlier when we were talking about the shit, because, we go hard here, people. We want to make sure you get all the details.
Yes, I did notice that we didn't mention that, and I didn't care to mention it. So
I'm gonna wagon Willis back around real quick.
Oh no!
When old Laura's in this basement, like the dude with the camera guy, because they go back to the basement twice prior to this time. The first time is him first seeing her. The second time they go back, Peter is in the bathroom chopping up the body of the guy in the tub, and
that's correct.
Is struggling.
Yeah, he's like just like the smell and everything of it too,
and puking almost. But then camera guy out there is fucking around with Laura.
You know what? I did totally space on the fact that that was the one thing that I can remember the camera guy participating in that was fucked up.
Yep. because he basically is like making comments like, haha, I'm gonna make her eat her own shit. And he like reaches down in that pan that's got shit in it, and you see him pick it up and he rubs it on her little nipple that's been chopped.
Yes. Oh my God, that's right. The wound. He rubs shit into
Yeah.
the wound.
Rubs shit
Oh
all
my
into
God.
the titty wound, and then like rubs it on her face. And the most fucked up part, when he tells him, he's like, hey man, we're just gonna treat her like a turkey. I'm gonna stuff shit back inside of her. And he like picks the shit up off the pan, and you see him behind her trying to push it back in the crack of her ass. I'm just like, this motherfucker. And the whole time Peter's in there just
gagging and
he's got his own tidy whities on.
yeah.
He's just trying to chop up a body.
But don't feed her shit. I'm over here trying to do something.
Yeah.
Like,
but one thing I will give them credit on is how well I could see how this motherfucker could get mistaken for some real shit.
Yeah, and I can't remember if it was on the Blu-ray thing, extra features. Fred talks about what he used for that.
Oh yeah, it's on the bonus.
Is it okay? I think I saw it too on the movie S&M Man, Sandman, because there's some behind the scenes stuff there too that's also involved in a movie. I've recommended that one to you.
Yep.
But yeah, it was like a brownie batter, and I think he said there was like mustard and other weird stuff in it, but like the basis of it was brownie batter, and I was like, fuck man, don't ruin brownies. Like,
yeah, the crazy part is when he talked about it, as when you're watching it, you're thinking the most disgusting smell ever. And then he talks about it being vanilla brown. You're thinking you're walking into a kitchen. It smells nice up in here.
Right? It'd be weird for like when they cut, she's just like, yo, can I finish the rest of this shit though? Because like, do we need any of the shit anymore?
Yeah, like this just smells nice up in here, man.
Yeah, that tasted very well, actually.
Yeah, like one of them cupcake scented candles you put in your house. Like that's what it really smelled like. But man, yeah, that's how, and then eventually, like you said, they come back and they find Laura has finally,
mercifully,
ghost. Thank goodness. So this, you don't know how long she's been there.
No
idea how long he has drugged the shit out on this old girl.
Yeah, and given by the amount of shit that I saw on that chair, it was.
Oh, she been there a minute, dude.
Yeah, if like not, she had a bowel problem. If not,
oh, because apparently the dude in the tub, she knew him like it was her boyfriend or something. His name was Michael, because he made her say his name.
That's right. Oh, doesn't he put the severed dick in her mouth?
No, he cuts his toe off.
The toe. That's right. Yeah, and he puts it in her. That was after they had fed her the shit.
Yep.
And because while he's chopping up the body, he brings the dead boyfriend's toe out there and like untapes her mouth, puts it in there, and then fucking tapes the mouth back. So she's going to eat that toe. She's going to swallow it at least.
Yeah, you're going to eat the toe, bitch.
Yes.
You're going to eat the toe.
Fuck. All right. So fuck. Dude, like everything about that scene now, I'm just like, oh my God, I forgot that was one of the parts the whole time. I'm just like, oh yeah. But yeah, so they go about their business. So we got to talk about him killing the old lady.
Yes, because more behind the scenes shit I learned. Yeah. Because they pull up in a parking lot, just random. They're driving around, people.
Like an apartment complex.
Yeah, they're driving around just like, not a care in the world. They come across this apartment complex, pull into the parking lot. They see an old lady. Look like she's fucking 70 or 80.
Yeah. She's old. She's old. Like if she would have died, like, I mean, she does die, but like if no one would have been like, oh man, I did not expect that. No, she was old enough to where like if the next day she died just in her sleep, you would have been like, that figures, she had a good life.
She had a good run. She's done it all. And that's what it looked like. They pull up in the parking lot. Peter jumps out like he's going to go help her with her groceries.
Yep.
His buddy's still in the passenger seat recording all of this. He goes over there, helps her with her groceries, up into her little apartment or whatever. And I'm just like, as soon as I see it, I'm like, is he going to kill this old lady?
Right, because there's no context prior.
Oh.
So for hell, and again, we get just dropped into the middle of their lives.
Yeah.
So who knows? This could be his grandmother.
Yep.
Like, because that would have been equally fucked up if he went there and was like genuinely nice.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he had an ulterior motive, but like if he was really there and you had to see after him chopping up a body and, you know, putting a dead toe in the guy's toe into his girlfriend's mouth and all the other stuff, to then see him like at his grandmother's and he's helping her with groceries, like you
Nice
go
and
upstairs and she's got cookies and milk and he's acting like a normal human, that would have been fucked up too.
Yeah. And he comes across so fucking nice. Because when he gets out of the car, he's like, hey, you need help with those bags. And he helped. And the part that gets you is when he's going up the stairs and he looks back at the camera guy. He looks back at him with this look on his face, like, give me 30 seconds. And then
yeah.
Because he gonna fuck old grandma up.
And he does.
Oh, and one of one of the best parts though is after he kills her and he pulls her fucking teeth out. Hello, my baby. Hello, my lady.
He uses them like a fucking puppet.
Yes.
and dude, yeah. And it's just so fucked up. And I do appreciate that we were spared having to see him do anything, because she literally looked like the sweetest old lady in the fucking world too. Yeah. Like, imagine any old white grandmother that's always like making you and food and shit like that, and everybody loves her. You in the South you call her Meemaw. You know, like she's
Meemaw.
Yes. Oh. And she just looks so sweet. And I was literally like, I remember when the cameraman first started going up when I first watched it, and I was like, no, like what the fuck, man? And then sitting there being like, then the curious part of me is like, fuck, how? Like, as a movie maker, how the fuck are you gonna have him like really fuck this old woman up? You know, because they got a budget to put like Johnny Knoxville into a grandpa suit here. Like, you know, like that's a legit old woman, which you were talking about on the special features. You find out it's actually Fred's real grandmother.
Yep. She's almost like 80 years old.
Yes. And like, how fucking awesome. That's so cool. Like, I'm just like,
crazy, dude. Because he said that scene was a one shot.
Yeah.
From the time they pulled up till the time they came up there. He said that time in between when he got her up there and helped her get down on the floor and stuff like that, you know, and basically told her about the whole teeth thing.
Yeah.
And apparently grandma had no clue what kind of movie Brady was making.
Yes. But yeah, it is from the moment they pull into the parking lot, because Fred is driving.
Yep.
And the cameraman has passenger seat. So yeah, it never stops, which is awesome. I love a good long shot in a movie, because I love them so much. And yeah, so from the time the cameraman is in the car and they pull up, you see him get out of the car. It's rolling the whole time, goes to the apartment, walks up the stairs, comes in, grandma's dead on the fucking floor.
Yep.
And yeah, dude. So big props out to Nana Vogel.
Yeah. And it wasn't, you can tell it wasn't a quick kill, because when you look around the little kitchen, there's like all her groceries and shit. Like he put hands on grandma.
Yeah. No, there was a struggle. And again, like he's going to overpower her. Cause if you've never seen Fred, he's a big dude. Like he's tall, he's a thick boy, you know? And so, yeah, dude, like there's no way this grandma with a weapon, she didn't have a fucking chance.
No. She had no chance.
So yeah, that's just him slinging her and beating her all around the fucking kitchen. Yeah. Which again, it is great because like, the sweetness of his grandmother doing that for him, but then it is a really cool way to be able to use an authentic old actor, and then you just insinuate all this shit went down, and then the one shot helped with that so much. But yeah, dude, I was really happy they didn't show anything involving that kill. Like you just show up and she's dead, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to see that one.
You didn't want to go up him just like really just digging into grandma.
Right, dude. And like her just yelling her fucking hair, and her white hair's all bloody and looks like Ric Flair when he would get busted open.
Yeah. It's crazy because then it just kind of jumps. Like they get done, like the cameraman goes up in there, raids the refrigerator, finds him a beer,
Yeah.
Fred does the thing with the fucking false teeth, which was fucking classic,
Yes.
you know. And then they decide they're still driving. Then they go to the pig processing plant.
Yeah. And which is a legit plant.
It is because
Yeah, and
you know,
everything you're seeing is real.
yep, it's real. But they don't show you anything. It's not like
No, everything's already dead. They didn't
Yeah.
kill an animal, did they?
No,
Yeah,
no,
there was just carcasses up.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
show you the guy explains how they do the pigs and the sheep or whatever, and then he takes them into the cooler, and you see the old carcasses hanging there, you know, and that's about it. It's just like you know, nothing goes on, nobody dies here, people. It's a safe moment.
Yeah. And again, there's no overarching narrative. So every time it's like you said, like you have no idea if you're seeing these events even in chronological order, and there is nothing that explains about how long there was between the last thing you saw. I mean, it could be days, it could be weeks. Yeah. Honestly, it could have been years yeah. Because they don't like reference, like when he came back to that, they don't even bring up the old lady. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like you have no semblance of time.
No, it's just a random, like just a guy on a fucking spree. And
yeah.
Whatever pisses him off at the moment, you know, and even after, you know, it goes through the pig factory, the old lady, and then all of a sudden we're rolling up into a gas station.
Yes.
And
yes, the nice gas station.
The gas station, and in the gas station, they come across as just like these typical, just wanting to be a fucking asshole.
Yeah, just pricks.
Just pricks, man. Coming there and giving because Fred, aka Peter, is up in there just opening bags of chips, eating them up right there in the street.
Right, yeah.
We know how
like you can't do that no matter what. Like everyone would agree that's fucking theft. Like
dude's trying to come up to him, the store manager, the dude working, he's just trying to do his job, you know, like, hey man, you can't be doing that shit here. And, you know, kicks him out. And I've seen shit like that before where somebody gets kicked out and then they come right back in there just to kind of keep on just digging at it, man. And it was like he was a grown-up, but then it was almost like he was a fucking 12-year-old little brat.
Dude, it was like a spoiled, bratty, entitled, like 12 or 13-year-old cutting up in a store, like if they were sent into a store, their parents weren't around, they could act however they wanted to. It did come off with like an air of like immaturity. So on top of like, and then again, it's I would, and I gotta again watch more of the special features and stuff like that, but it does provide these like kind of these different sides. If you really, and I don't honestly think I actually picked this up until I rewatched it, where there is a lot more if you look at the way he acts in the different scenes. There's layers to the killer, to Peter. There again, like you see that like that narcissistic, entitled side, and we know that a lot of serial killers have that about them. There's a lot of stuff, and I wonder if it was intentional or if it was just Fred pulling from real life serial killers, and it does, but is especially because, you know, me and my wife used to do Spread the Dread, and we talked a lot about serial killers. I noticed that a lot more watching it this time, and I've always been like, I wonder if that was intentional or if it just happened to be a coincidence because he was pulling from other real life serial killers. But I did like the fact that I could see that in this movie, even though it was disjointed and there was no story. There was a story at least being told and a backstory put together if you really pay attention to what he's doing.
And the store part, and the other ones, he didn't come across as this like young type annoying teenager, where in the store he did. And the store he came across like, you know, you see kids going up in the store trying to steal some candy or some shit like that, and they don't like the fact that they got kicked out. He comes back in, he's giving the guy a hard time, you know, and you know, when the store thing kicks off, you know, he leaves the store, he comes back in there, and that's when it pops off, where they find a couple other people in the store. He's got a couple people in the back of the store. And and here's one of the things I like the most of this is it may sound odd, but I like the fact that when you're listening to it and the stuff they're doing when he's wrestling on top of this guy, he's starting to beating him up and he's fighting him.
Yeah.
You hear their breathing.
Yeah.
The heavy breathing. It's not like, it's almost like they just kept it rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we know you're out of breath, but it's realistic. We're not going to stop it here and then hit action again later. Like this whole thing, you hear the heavy breathing. You hear the fact that he's on top of him wrestling and they're just out of breath.
Yeah.
And then when he finally, I didn't know that dude was his brother, the dude in the back of the store.
Oh, his real life brother?
Yeah, I think so.
Fred's brother?
The bonus features. Thank you very much to the unearthed.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I if I saw that part on the bonus features, I had forgotten it, but I was not aware that was actually Fred's brother back there.
Because they had to pay a little money at this part of the show of this movie where later on where they busted the door on one of the freezer doors. They busted, and he said I had to pay for that.
I do remember that part. So I probably heard the other part, but yeah, and again, it shows the real life because also too, I keep wanting to call him Fred because I honestly, I know he's named Peter Allen. I can't ever remember or recall if he was ever actually called by name in the movie.
I don't remember it either because
if it was, it had to have been once
because he almost named the movie Peter.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that was one of the names before coming up with August Underground. It was going to be called Peter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I keep wanting to call him Fred, but Fred, Peter, the main guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he's clearly, he's not some super jacked up dude. He's struggling to do what he's doing. Yeah. Like it's an even fight. Like, like this is just a normal ass dude who has decided to start killing people.
Yep.
And so, go from there because after
the part of the story that was the funniest part though was when he basically had old guy on the ground, they had old girl sitting here, and he basically tells the guy, like, I want you to sniff her ass.
Yeah.
I want you to sniff her ass. Like, and he tells her, like, pull your pants down, he's gonna smell your ass. And I felt bad for the old girl because his head down there, the dude was making some funky smelly faces. Like this old girl's ass did not smell. He's making some gagging noises. Like this old girl does not baby wipe. She does not believe in the baby wipe. She grabs a dry piece of toilet paper and wipes her ass and does not baby wipe because he's gagging.
And you have to remember too, this movie's called August Underground, taking place in August, which I don't care what part of America you live in. That is the hottest month. That's the hottest month.
It's hot.
I think this is supposed to be set in like Pittsburgh or something like that. It's in Pittsburgh or Philly area, which is where Fred's from. And and this is later in the day.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? She's needing an end of day shower. So yeah, you feel bad for her because like she had no warning.
No.
Like God forbid, what if that was a first date?
Yeah.
Like he's never gonna not assume that your ass reeks like that.
You just automatically going to assume like that. Like
I dodged it. You know what? Actually, I want to thank that guy. He saved me. I dodged a bullet. I love to eat ass. I didn't know her ass was gonna smell that bad. Yeah. I wish I could thank that serial killer.
Yeah, he was just because you didn't know what was coming for these two. I don't know if you couldn't tell if they were a couple.
Right. Or just happened to be near each other.
Maybe they were just in the store or if they were, but if there were a couple, like the fact that knowing that our dude Fred lets you know that, hey, you might not want to get in this thing right. It smells like a fucking outhouse.
Yes. She doesn't freshen up during the day.
No, she does not believe in a baby wipe at all.
No, just lets that Philly or Pittsburgh August heat do its thing. Just got swamp crotch down there.
A little famunda cheese.
Yes. Oh. Oh, fuck, man. Like, let's move on away from
no, because the crazy part was after he got done sniffing her ass, then Fred's just like, you know what? Smell his ass now.
Which is only fair.
It is.
But but the guy had nothing to lose. Like at this point, like nobody, no girls. She immediately had to have gone, "Oh fuck, this is gonna smell awful."
Yeah.
He didn't think that immediately. No guy would have. Like
No.
it didn't. She wasn't some like gross looking chick that you would be like, "Oh fuck no." Like so, yeah, dude. Like that. Yeah, that whole scene. It's weird to think that I just watched him kill a grandmother. And I watched him with a girl sitting in a chair in her own shit, cut off her nipple and all this other stuff. But this scene was the one of the movie I disliked him the most. Like as a character, in this, like as a character, this was the one time. Like every time else, I was like, but in this scene, I was just like, what a fucking dick. Never said that once while he was standing over a dead grandmother that he just randomly killed. But because he was acting like a fucking prick in a convenience store, and I've seen that happen in real life, I've experienced it. My whole time, I'm like, what a fucking asshole. Like, get out of here and go kill someone. Quit being a dick. Like,
because he struck me in that point in this movie in the store. Like I said earlier, he come across that just a entitled teenager that just thinks they can do what they want. And I fucking hate today's generation of teenagers. They fucking annoy the shit out of me. And so yeah, I was like you in this part of the movie. I disliked him.
Yeah.
And it's weird, like you said, I didn't dislike him when he was, fucking grandma up and rubbing, fucking old girl up in his basement. But this part annoys me now. Now you're on the bad side, Fred.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Like, I just want to look at him like in that scene, like, you know what? You're actually not a good person.
Yeah, you're not.
Like, that's it. And that's the meanest thing you could say, in my opinion. Like, I don't want anyone to be like, you're not a good person. Because I'm like, fuck, I really try to be. I know I have fucked up hobbies, but like, I'm not going to cause a scene like this fucking guy. And we've all seen it. And certainly we've seen plenty of like YouTube videos. Oh, he was acting kind of like a dude Karen.
Yeah.
Like, this is my store. I can do whatever I want to. How dare you offend me now? You're all going to pay.
Yep. And they come across the only kudos part that I liked was when the old girl finally bent over to sniff the ass of her dude. He takes that baseball bat and just pops her about 3-4 times over the head.
Yeah.
You don't even know. I don't even know if the guy's ass smelled bad or not.
No.
He didn't give her a chance to even get a good whiff of it.
No. But that does suck that that's the last thing you were doing.
Yeah, the last thing you went.
Because, like, imagine in the afterlife, everyone's like, it's like prison. Yeah, well, like, everyone's just like, how did you get here?
Yeah.
That's what, if you're not going to lie, like, you're going to tell them, like, dude, I was being forced to smell the ass of a complete stranger in a shitty gas station. And before I could even smell it, the guy fucking Louisville'd me 3 times in the soft spot of my skull, and now I'm here.
Like, and all the other angels and shit don't believe you. They're like, "How you making that fucking shit?"
They're like, "Bullshit, you're lying. Nobody's ever died like that here. Like, we realized that before, and yep, that's me." Yep. And then they're like, "Oh wait, it was from Philly or Pittsburgh. That makes sense." Like,
and they get down to the gas station. It's just like out the blue, like, "Hey man, let's go. I'm tired now. Let's get out of here." And
I've proven my point.
Yeah, I've shown them, this is my store now. And then they go off to get a tattoo.
Yeah.
Peter wants to give him a tattoo on it. But like I said, it is not in timed order. Like, the tattoo part right here could have been way before, could have been way after the story. You don't know. And I like that about it. So they're just in a random tattoo parlor. He picks him out a tattoo, getting a tattoo on his leg. They're bullshitting around with the two brothers. They're brothers that run this tattoo shop.
Yeah.
They're joking around, laughing with them and shit, and
this is kind of like what I was talking about, where they could have done the opposite with that grandmother scene. Because in this one, I mean, even if you don't technically like him, it's particularly because you've seen everything else. Like, this is showing that, like, that's one of the things that fucks us up about serial killers the most is sometimes it's less about the crimes they committed, but rather the life that they were able to lead while committing these murders. Like the fact that you could go to little league games and, you were married and, like you were a scout leader, all this other shit. And you were doing this, like, that's really fucked up. And like, it's a guy in his age group and everything. That's what they would normally do. Hey man, we know the guys who own the tattoo place. I've been wanting to get a tattoo. just like a normal day, like you didn't do everything you've just been doing.
Yeah, because the whole tattoo part, while they're in the tattoo parlor, they're just two guys hanging out with these two guys in the tattoo. They're like laughing, joking, smoking a cigarette and shit, like totally normal acting guy.
Yep.
And next thing you know, we're back in the fucking basement again, people.
Yes, we are.
We're back in the basement with two dudes.
The dudes from the fucking tattoo fucking parlor.
Two dudes, no clue of what they did to get these two guys from the tattoo parlor to the basement. But
yeah, because he struggled with that one dude in the convenience store.
Yeah. Now we got two dudes down in the basement. We got one dude sitting in the same chair that our girl has.
Yes, the poop chair.
All over. The same chair. He's taped into it same way. He ain't got nothing on but his little underwear.
Mm.
You get a view of a guy on the floor. The guy on the floor got his underwear on with one leg tied up some weird way and part of his leg fucking chopped off in the basement.
Yeah. So we're coming in. Things have already been happening.
Yeah. They've been there.
So again, like you said, another thing, how long have these guys even been here?
Yeah.
We honestly don't know.
Yep. And God, and fucking Fred, I say Fred, but Peter, he did such a fucking good job of like when he's yelling at him and talking to him. Like even in the beginning when he's grabbing old girl by the head and just slinging her around, and he gets down here with this dude and he's basically telling him like, hey, look at your brother on the floor, just the fucked up, like the dude in the chair is having to look at him. And the part that gets me while the dude's in the chair, Peter climbs on top of the body that's in the floor. And he takes that fucking hammer.
Yeah.
And he pops him in the head. And I enjoy any movie that will show it to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't give me off-screen bullshit.
Nah.
Like he's swinging this hammer and you see this head and he's just like swinging this fucking hammer.
And like I said earlier, another one of those where they show you there's no weird like jumpy cuts. It's not quick and shit like that where they had staged one. Again, this is Fred being like, I can do this. I can like I said, the practical effects are just insane. And like I said, he's not afraid to get that camera in there and show them, which is awesome. Most movies don't even do that now, even with CGI or great practical effects. There's a level of stupidity or confidence in the guy who did it, and it works great here. And it is brutal to just see it take place.
Yeah, because even when he's done with his brother on the floor, he gets back up and he's like kind of talking shit to the dude in the chair. And this out of the blue, he decides I want to swing on you a couple times. And it's crazy because it is like they show you the head of the boy in the chair and they show you Fred and you see that hammer just up against it. And it's just like, I like it, man.
And again, think of seeing that in 2001 because you found a blank VHS on a fucking park bench.
Exactly.
You would have lost your shit.
Yeah, this is true. In 2001, because when I was watching it, I was having to tell myself, I was kept like, holy shit, this is 2001.
Yeah.
Like this dude, Fred, went like just nothing like that I knew of. It was out there back in, because I wasn't deep into the big horror thing back then,
No. And so no, I was entry level when it first came out. And like I said, it had already been out at least a decade by the time I saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just, dude, and like I said, it's really rare. And it's one of the things is like, if you think about, like, if you were around for when Blair Witch Project came out and like, that was such a big deal in found footage, mainstream horror. Again, it wasn't meant to be mainstream, but it went so mainstream. Tons of movies after that just kept trying to do it, to capture that again in the same way. It's August Underground. The first one is really, when it comes to like underground extreme horror, if it's found footage and you're watching it now, you can see where it all harkens back to August Underground. This is the extremeness aside, one of the better, if you're really into found footage, one of the best examples of found footage done by someone who was like, nope, if we can't capture it naturally, then we don't do it, or we don't capture it correctly like it would normally be done by an amateur person who's just operating a camera. And yeah, I mean, you when you watch this, especially if you've never seen it before and you've been watching a lot of underground found footage, you'll see so much shit in this and be like, oh man, you could tell all the guys making the films afterwards, and not in a negative way. You could tell, man, this inspired them, and they're just like, oh man, I want to be the next Fred Vogel.
Yeah. And then that leads us into the Dollar General prostitutes. I say
Bro,
general because it was like, if you could pick just a prostitute off a shelf, these girls came straight off a Dollar General prostitute row. They're at they're at Fred's house, Peter's house.
It's like if Kmart sold prostitutes.
Yeah. They're back in the Roses day when Roses.
Oh my God. Yeah. These are the kind of prostitutes that you go there for the value.
Yeah.
Like
they got him. It's him and his cameraman. They're partying one night. They got prostitutes up in there. They got the cocaine going. They're enjoying their night, and they're acting like they just hooked up with the two hottest chicks in the fucking world, the way they're acting.
Well, and no offense to Fred, like, and his looks, but like his character for sure, dude, not a good looking guy. Doesn't look clean. And he looks like he lives in that house that he lives in with the basement that looks like shit. He looks like the kind of guy that you would think of who owns a house that looks like that and has even fucking people chained up in it.
The crazy part is that is the house he was living in when he did that movie.
Right, but at least it wasn't. I'm sure he didn't keep it that fucking dirty. I hope that wasn't just like, oh yeah, we just didn't clean up our mess when we fucking filmed it. I hope not.
We don't leave it that way.
Yes, but yeah, they got their prostitutes. It's gonna be a real good night. Well, Fred manages to talk his downstairs.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that until it showed it. And I was watching, and I went, "Oh fuck!" Like as soon as I seen it.
So all right, so the cameraman, he's got his. They're still upstairs. Remind me why did the other prostitute go downstairs with the camera? She went down with him, right?
No, the dude with the camera, he took the one prostitute to another room to basically get his dick sucked. Because they're done. They basically, and while they're doing that, Fred or Peter has taken the other girl. You just see him kind of go off, like off to go fuck or whatever. And then it shows in the room with the camera guy and his girl, because he makes it about, oh, that's the best dick I ever sucked, whatever. And then she's like, come on, let's go find, where's the other two at? And they're like,
that's right.
The house. And then they go down them same stairs. And that's when I realized, like, holy shit, that's the same house, because you see them go down the stairs and you recognize the shit hanging on the wall.
Yeah, because this was the first time they showed anything but they showed the kitchen earlier. Was that where they were pouring the beer? Was in his kitchen, and then they walked down right at the beginning of the movie.
In the beginning of the movie, he was outside.
That's right. They were outside and they walked it. Yeah. So you're seeing upstairs. So the living room again looks normal. And the fucked up thing too is that living room wasn't as dirty as the basement. No, it's like the basement is literally like his dirty little secret. Yep. You got to clean up before the prostitutes come over. Like, I mean, if that's just being civil. If you're going to act like a jackass at a convenience store, you know what? At least when he gets, when he goes to heaven, he could be like, you know what though? I cleaned up before the prostitutes came over.
Yeah.
No one's
made sure
thanking me for that.
The living room was fucking straight.
Yeah, I even vacuumed that shitty shag carpet.
Yeah, that
But
was.
yeah, so when they get downstairs though,
Oh,
you hear the noise, and it sounds like there's some hardcore fucking going on. Peter is laying fucking pipe.
Peter's
And
ball.
actually, what he's laying is track. And if you know anything about laying railroad tracks, you know that requires a fucking hammer. And the sound is Peter going in fucking ham on this this prostitute from behind. And I got to give him props for the rhythm, especially him being a white boy like us.
Hey, we ain't got no rhythm.
He had the hips and he had the hammer. They were fucking synced up, bro. He was getting her on one end and beating her fucking head in on the other end. And this is another one where it doesn't show it so much up close, because again, they're coming down the stairs and turning the corner to see this. But I mean, he's wailing on that fucking head.
Yep.
And oh my God, dude, he is just, I mean, the definition of bashing someone's brains in.
And for me, out of everything he has done through this movie, that ending to me was just, because you can see when he comes down the stairs, he turns the corner. She's kind of like bent over it, laying over like a chair, that same fucking chair. She's just kind of laying over it, and he's like fucking her from behind. And the crazy part is when they come down, they turn his corner. He looks back at him like mid swing on her head, and he's just got this smile on his face, like he's having the best time ever.
Yeah. So it's just a good night.
Yeah, it's just like, this has been a fun night, buddy.
Yes,
you know, and you can tell. I don't know how long he's been bashing her head in.
That's another thing too, because I mean, did they have Ray? I mean, because again, and we also don't know how long this took place after they killed the two brothers.
Yeah.
Was there still corpses down there? Did it all this other stuff? So yeah, we have no idea how long he was wailing on her, what he may have even did prior to that. Because again, there was a time lapse. That was the only time there was a time lapse in the movie where you knew what the distance of time was from one thing to the next, is when the cameraman goes back there. Clearly he got blowed, finished all that up. And then, so we're talking, minutes later, and yeah, dude, he's going in on that. Well, then of course the prostitute that is still alive, tries to fucking go. Yep. And once they chase after her, we have another classic of found footage, which Blair Witch, that's the first one I can remember seeing do that, where the camera drops, lands on the floor. You can hear some shit in the background, and that's it. That's August. That's the August Underground.
And it is just, and the cool thing about this show, people, is we're not going to tell you what we think about it as far as ratings go. You're going to have to wait to episode 4, and we're going to rank all of them.
See, we didn't discuss that. And
we really didn't. I wasn't sure how.
But I think that's a smart idea. Because you got to build to it. And at the same time, eventually we're going to have to kill one of these movies, in the 4th episode of it. So
forgive us, Fred.
Right. So, I mean, for all y'all know, we might marry all 3 of these movies.
This is true.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's August Underground. I will say, I don't know, for all the talk of the trilogy, I will say this. This is by far, when you hear the reputation of August Underground, most people are not thinking about this movie. Maybe because, hey, that was the first one I saw, if all 3 were out when you started watching them and stuff like that. But if anyone's going to start talking about certain scenes that really, really fucked with them, it's Mortem and Penance.
Yeah.
But more so Mortem. Mortem has mine. I have not rewatched Mortem yet.
I can't.
I am not looking forward to it at all. Which, if for anyone who hasn't seen too many of the episodes, I like doing this to myself to torture me. Like Jay and my wife can handle way more of it than what I can. I like that it fucks with me, so I try watching it. And then I buy it for some kind of fucking masochistic thing. Or sadistic, whichever one. No, it's masochist when I'm asking for it. But yeah, like this one again, this one has the least amount. I mean, there's really not much story or anything. Mortem and Penance, which again, that'll be the next 2 episodes. There's really going to be a lot more to be able to discuss as far as the movie, because I know like this almost sounded like we were reviewing the Blu-ray for like half of it, which I could have totally done too.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of meat on the bones of August Underground once you've seen Mortem and Penance. So if you haven't watched any of them, for God's sakes, watch August Underground before you watch Mortem or Penance, or it'll likely bore you. Or because it just gets fucking way more fucked up from here. This movie does not prepare you for Mortem.
Yeah.
There is. I'm sorry. Because when I watched them for the very first time, I had all 3 of them. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I had to torrent them. Because like I said, over a decade ago, and so I watched them. I watched them in order, and then dude, that first one did. Oh my! Like after fucking Mortem's done, I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, that was fucking nothing compared to Mortem. What the fuck, man? So yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, everybody. So make sure you check that episode when it happens. And I'm not looking forward to Penance either, because there's a couple of scenes in there that come to mind that I'm not looking forward to revisiting either.
The cool thing for me is I haven't seen Penance yet. So I'm looking Mortem. I've seen it, but it's been a minute. And my wife's already hit me up because she's coming down this weekend. And I've already told her, because I don't think she's seen the original August Underground. So I've already told her we're watching the original. We're watching fucking Mortem, and
if you can watch all 3, like, like not necessarily on the same day, but like,
yeah,
watch all 3 within like the same week.
Oh yeah.
It's the best way now that they're out and everything like that. Yeah. Like if you can watch all 3 of them, but definitely don't, because everyone talks about Mortem. Like Mortem is the one when they're like, oh, most fucked up movies, August Underground, like they mean Mortem. Like they're talking about fucking Mortem.
Because you can Google August Underground, and when you Google August Underground, Mortem automatically comes.
Yeah.
Like it bypasses the original.
Yeah. And then, like I said, too, I mean, honestly, like Mortem and Penance, they tie together. Like there's story going on between them, and to the best of my recollection, nothing really carries over from the very first August Underground. Like pretty much all I can't remember if the cameraman's supposed to be the same. And a little teaser in Mortem, it's Peter, and then his girlfriend and her brother, I think Christy. And the brother's name, I think, goes by Maggot or something like that. So there's a thing going on that goes across all of them. So yeah, that's all I can say about it. I mean, it's still a classic. It's I mean, it's a fucking legend.
It is just, yeah, so fucking good. And like I said, I can't wait to where I have to figure out which one of these. Because I'm one of those that I love these types of movies where a part of me would just be like, Mary, Mary, Mary. But then, the fact that we're going to do it this way to where we're going to pick one of the 3, and it has to be which one we'd rather fuck, marry, or kill. And so I'm looking forward to that. And that's why for this episode, there really isn't going to be a fuck, marry, kill.
I will say, and I mean, I think you guys obviously know, I mean, we never tell anyone, even when we fucking despise a movie, we tell you, go watch it for yourself. Everybody likes different shit. To me, if you have a little bit of, if you've been watching extreme cinema, I really doubt you haven't seen this yet. But if you haven't, because I mean, there's some classics in the genre that I just haven't watched yet. I just haven't, for some reason. I've watched other shit. You got to check it out. But I honestly think this is a decent one to test your mettle if you want to know if you can handle extreme cinema or not.
Oh yeah.
I think this one hits you pretty good, but I mean, it's from the extreme factor, it's not anywhere close to like Mortem, and there's a lot of the other heavy hitters of the genre. So if you've been wanting to kind of dip your toe in, I think the very first August Underground is a pretty decent way to go, to where if you're like, hey, these movies aren't for me, it's not going to fuck you up for life. You know, like if anyone's like, oh yeah, pop your cherry brutal, watch Serbian film first. No, don't do that. You aren't ready for that yet.
See, to me, the Serbian film is softer than August Underground.
What? Okay, so I will give you that, because you can tell it's a movie.
Yeah.
It's so well made, and I'll tell anybody that like Serbian film is very well made, and we can talk about that at a later time too. But I do give you that. But in terms of fucked up scenes, I mean, but again, I could think of something in Mortem, and I believe the other one is in Penance, that it's right up there with it.
Yeah.
I mean, the one I always think about in Mortem, it's definitely up there in some of the roughest scenes that you'll see.
So
I don't want to spoil it. He's giddy. I'm like, no, fuck. I don't want to.
The next week, people. Next week we'll be all on Mortem.
Yep, and like I said, make sure, put it in the comments down if you like the idea. Hey, man, you guys actually doing this and actually having to pick a movie to fuck, marry, kill. Make sure to put it in the comments. Give us a thumbs up and stuff like that, and go check out his Patreon and get those exclusive episodes and the early releases and stuff.
Yes, sir. And that's it for August Underground episode.
Yes.
With the trilogy down. Next week we will be Mortem.
If I make it through watching it again, dude, fuck me. I'm so not happy.
I will be all on it this weekend.
I know you'll watch it. You'll watch it twice for fun.
Yeah. I'll watch it this weekend with my wife, and then like the day before we record, I'll watch it again just so it's nice and fresh. Because
I'm gonna end up getting to that one scene that I'm thinking of, and then I'm gonna be like, all right, I'll watch the other half tomorrow night.
I've had people I work with, they knew I like horror, so they'll tell me to recommend some, and I've recommended some, and they come back to work the next Monday, and they're just looking at me and they're like, "There's something wrong with you." Like, because I'll just give them some random, like some of the like trauma, some of the like not so hard. But I
think Trauma is a terrible first recommend, bro. That has got so much fucked up shit in it.
Yeah, that's just like daddy grabbing you and throwing you in the deep end.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's a sink or swim flick. I'll give you that one for sure.
Yeah. And so
I think so is Mortem, and I won't say much about Penance, because I think there's always a big bat. Most people pick Mortem out of all three, but there's a lot of people who defend Penance a lot too. But yeah, dude, like, don't start out with either one of those. But yeah, if you can watch all three, definitely give it a check.
Oh yeah.
And again, like, if you haven't watched it in a while, go remind yourself of this experience. I was very glad to have rewatched it. There was a lot of like I wasn't shocked, but there was a lot of stuff I was seeing again for the first time and noticing. And yeah, man, just the effects work here for the insanely small budget they had. It's just crazy, man. It really is crazy how well it still holds up. It definitely still holds up.
Yes, it does. And yep, that's it. Fright Flick family. Go check us out. Like I said, the website, Fright Flick FMK. All the links are in the description. Go like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment. Like I said, ask questions, talk shit, whatever. I'll respond. You can talk shit to me, I'll respond. I welcome it.
Yeah, he will feed the trolls, people.
Yeah, I like a little back and forth banter. It gets me excited. So, but hey, thanks again for stopping by, listening to us, and like I said, John, brother, I am so fucking pumped to be back doing this again.
Me as well, man.
Yep, and I am looking forward to it. Like I said, I love the trilogy idea, and if you're listening and you like it, let us know.
And if you have a suggestion for a future trilogy you think we should do, it may not be on our list.
Yeah, we don't know all the movies. Maybe you got some shit out there you would like to hear us talk shit about. So drop some suggestions, but yeah, be on the lookout. August Underground, Fred Vogel. We're not worthy, baby. We're not worthy. And But hey, man, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Anything you good, brother? Anything you gotta?
No, I appreciate getting to do this again, and yeah, man, I'm looking forward to filming the next episode. I'm not looking forward at the research that I have to do for it, because like I said, my little stack is still right here, and literally the entire episode, that one kept fucking staring me in the face. That's Mortem, and I'm just like, no. And then, like I said, there's plenty of stuff I'm remembering from Penance, and I'm not looking forward to that one either. But I'm gonna do it, and I can't wait to do it. We're gonna have fun talking about it.
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! So yep, that's going to do it for this episode, family. We've reached that part of the episode where you all know the deal by now. People, you all know to reach over, grab your drinks, grab your shit, put the chairs away, and get the fuck out of here.
So you like to listen to people talk about crime, but did you ever wonder why criminals do the things they do? Like what makes them tick? My name is Debbie, and I'm the professor at True Crime University. Join me in the classroom Thursdays, wherever you get your podcasts, for intellectual discussions about crime, psychology, and why criminals do what they do. See you there.